Los Angeles streets turned into stages for high-stakes drama this past year. Police chases unfolded across the region. They were fast, they were dangerous, they were sometimes deadly. In one recent week alone, 6 people were killed during police pursuits in Southern California. Pomona, San Clemente. These events highlight a persistent and troubling aspect of law enforcement in a car-centric metropolis. The flashing lights and screaming sirens are a familiar sight on local news. The real-world consequences are severe and far-reaching. The year 2025 was marked by a series of notable police pursuits. Each one told a different story. Robbery suspects fleeing in stolen cars. Homicide suspects trying to escape justice. The vehicles ranged from nimble sedans to clumsy U-Haul trucks. The chases sometimes lasted for hours, crossing multiple city and county lines. They played out on freeways and quiet residential streets alike. For the public, these pursuits are a spectacle. For those involved, they are a matter of life and death. The danger is not limited to the suspects and the officers. It extends to every driver and pedestrian in their path. This essay will examine several key police chases from 2025 in Los Angeles and the surrounding areas. It will detail the circumstances of each pursuit, actions of the suspects, tactics used by law enforcement to stop them. The true cost of police chases is measured in lost lives. A single week in 2025 was particularly tragic, with 6 deaths linked to pursuits across Southern California. These were not statistics, they were people. In Pomona, a pursuit involving a domestic violence suspect ended in a horrific, intentional crash. The suspect slammed his vehicle into a patrol car. The collision killed his pregnant girlfriend and her boyfriend, who were in the car with him. The incident shows how a vehicle can become a weapon. Another life was lost in San Clemente. A woman was driving her SUV, going about her day. Her path tragically intersected with a police chase. A suspect, fleeing in a stolen U-Haul van, crashed into her vehicle. The collision was violent and fatal. The woman was an innocent bystander. Her death underscores the random risk that pursuits pose to the public. A routine drive can end in an instant when a chase tears through a community. In Anaheim, the week's death toll also included a 70-year-old man and a teenager. Their deaths occurred when a teenage driver, being pursued by police, ran a red light. The fleeing driver's car smashed into the vehicle carrying the man and the other teen. 2 lives were extinguished because of a single reckless decision. These events raise serious questions about pursuing suspects, especially juveniles. The potential for catastrophic outcomes is so high on busy city streets. These fatal incidents are not isolated. They are part of a larger pattern. Rental trucks, particularly U-Hauls, have become a surprisingly common feature in Los Angeles police chases. Their size and bulk make them difficult to stop, but their lack of speed and maneuverability makes them a curious choice for a getaway vehicle. In one case, an alleged robbery suspect led officers on a lengthy chase in a U-Haul box truck through East Los Angeles. The California Highway Patrol confirmed the driver was wanted for robbery. The pursuit was a strange mix of high speeds and low speeds. At times, the driver pushed the truck up to 70 miles per hour on the freeway. However, during other parts of the chase, the driver seemed to follow basic traffic laws. The U-Haul was seen stopping at red lights and yielding to other cars. A convoy of police cruisers followed closely behind. This behavior can be a tactic to prolong the chase, hoping officers will call it off due to its duration or the perceived decrease in immediate danger. The pursuit finally ended when the driver abandoned the truck. A woman was seen running through the front yards of homes with a bag before CHP officers surrounded her and took her into custody. This pursuit began after a reported burglary. The U-Haul drove through the parking lot of the iconic Randy's Donuts in Inglewood. The suspects jumped out of the moving truck and ran toward a waiting Lexus sedan. This pre-planned vehicle swap was a clear attempt to throw off the pursuing officers. The maneuver showed a level of coordination and planning not always seen in these chaotic events, turning the chase into a more complex multi-vehicle affair. The U-Haul cases illustrate the diverse and sometimes bizarre nature of LA pursuits. A vehicle designed for moving furniture becomes an instrument in a felony crime. These trucks are not built for speed. but their sheer mass makes them a significant threat in a collision. As seen in the fatal San Clemente crash, the consequences can be lethal. Many police pursuits do not end with a simple traffic stop or a suspect surrendering peacefully. They often conclude in a sudden, violent crash, sometimes directly involving police officers. In downtown Los Angeles, a chase involving a shooting suspect ended with a head-on collision. The suspect's vehicle crashed directly into an LAPD cruiser near the Alameda and Bay Streets Produce Market. The impact was severe enough to injure at least 2 officers. The incident began around 1 a.m. after police responded to reports of a shooting nearby, showing how quickly a call can escalate into a dangerous pursuit and a direct assault on officers. After the crash, the suspect did not give up. He fled the wrecked vehicle on foot and ran toward the sprawling produce market. The area was immediately put on lockdown as a precaution. Police set up a perimeter and began a systematic search for the man, who was considered armed and dangerous. This outcome highlights the reality that a chase often transitions into another kind of police operation. A vehicle pursuit can become a foot pursuit, which can then become a manhunt in a dense urban environment, continuing to pose a risk to public safety long after the initial chase has ended. Another pursuit, this one starting after a liquor store robbery, also ended in a crash and a subsequent foot chase in South Los Angeles. The suspects led the LAPD on and off the 110 freeway before exiting onto surface streets. On 113th Street, the suspect vehicle crashed into another car, bringing the chase to an abrupt halt. The driver was quickly detained by officers at the scene of the crash. However, the passenger had other plans. He jumped out of the car and immediately began running, hopping over a nearby fence and disappearing into a residential neighborhood. The scene then transformed into a tense search. The second suspect was seen on camera trying to barricade himself inside someone's backyard. Suspects fleeing from police often employ a range of tactics to evade capture. These maneuvers can be both desperate and surprisingly sophisticated. One of the most common and dangerous tactics is simply ignoring all traffic laws. In a chase through South Los Angeles, the driver repeatedly ran red lights, drove on the wrong side of the road. These actions happened despite heavy traffic, putting dozens of other drivers at extreme risk. The goal is to force officers to back off because of the danger to the public. Police attempted to use a standard tool for ending chases: spike strips. Officers laid a spike strip in the road. Officers tried to deploy strips in the path of a fleeing white sedan multiple times. The driver swerved and avoided them each time. The chase continued about 30 minutes before the suspects abandoned the car. They ditched the sedan near Nickerson Gardens in Watts, then fled on foot. It was unclear if immediate arrests were made. A more complex tactic happened at Randy's Donuts parking lot. Suspects in a U-Haul had a getaway car waiting. They abandoned the truck, jumped into a Lexus sedan that sped away. The vehicle swap is a high-risk, timed maneuver. The Lexus sideswiped an LAPD patrol car as it fled. This shows premeditation beyond simple fleeing. It suggests an organized effort to defeat the police pursuit. The Lexus later ran another red light, was struck by an uninvolved vehicle in Hyde Park and spun out. The driver did not surrender. He exited the wreck and ran. These examples show escalating evasion tactics. Modern technology is increasingly playing a role in police pursuits. One major new tool, remotely disabling a vehicle. That tech was used in a high-speed chase involving a homicide suspect from Camarillo. The suspect, 42 years old. Name, Stephen Green. Vehicle, a red Chevrolet Trailblazer. Rental company Hertz tracked the SUV using GPS. Near LAX, Hertz sent a command that remotely disabled the vehicle. The chase was effectively ended. The outcome was tragic. After the vehicle stopped, the suspect remained inside. As authorities closed in, he took his own life. The technology prevented a crash or danger to the public, but it did not prevent a death. This raises complex ethical questions. It demonstrates remote intervention's power to protect bystanders. But taking control away from a desperate person can lead to unforeseen tragic consequences inside the vehicle. Police also use other technology. Helicopters act as an eye in the sky. Shadowing lets ground units back off and reduce danger while keeping track. GPS tracking devices can be fired from a police car and attached to a fleeing vehicle. These tools aim to reduce risks from traditional pursuits. Yet technology isn't perfect. Spike strips can be defeated by a skilled or lucky driver. GPS trackers can be discovered and removed. Remote disabling, as the LAX incident shows, can still lead to tragic outcomes. While many pursuits are defined by dangerous high speeds, some are notable for the exact opposite. A 2-hour chase involving an armed robbery suspect through the Pico Union area was, for the most part, a slow-speed affair. The driver of the car was followed by at least 5 police cruisers. Yet, instead of racing through the streets, the suspect often drove at or below the speed limit. This created a surreal and tense procession through the city. The driver was observed stopping at red lights. The driver even waited for pedestrians to cross the street before proceeding. This type of slow-speed pursuit presents a different set of challenges for law enforcement. The immediate danger of a high-speed crash is lessened. That makes it harder for police to justify forceful interventions, like a pit maneuver. The driver stopped the car several times during the 2-hour ordeal, creating moments of uncertainty. It was unclear if the suspect was surrendering, or taunting police, or planning another move. This cat-and-mouse game can drain police resources and create a prolonged mobile standoff that still carries risks for the public. The chase finally came to an end after about 2 hours. The driver eventually stopped for good and was taken into custody without further incident. While the outcome was peaceful, the event tied up numerous officers and patrol cars for a significant period. It also created a rolling spectacle that attracted media attention and public curiosity. That attention can sometimes complicate police operations. These slow chases test the patience and strategy of the officers involved. They must remain vigilant. A slow-moving suspect can suddenly accelerate. Every police pursuit places officers in a difficult position. They must constantly weigh the need to capture a suspect against the risk the chase poses to the public. This is not a simple calculation. It is a dynamic assessment that changes from moment to moment. An officer must consider the seriousness of the original crime, murder, armed robbery, or for a lesser offense like a traffic violation. Most police department policies state that the gravity of the crime should be a primary factor. The environment of the chase is another critical factor. A pursuit on an empty freeway at 3 a.m. carries a different level of risk than one on crowded city streets during rush hour or near a school. Officers must consider the volume of vehicle traffic and pedestrian traffic, the weather conditions, and the type of roadway. A chase through a dense residential neighborhood with its narrow streets, blind corners, and the possibility of children playing presents an extremely high risk. A supervisor may order an officer to terminate a pursuit if the danger to the public becomes too great. The behavior of the fleeing driver is also a key part of the equation. A suspect who drives recklessly, runs red lights, and enters oncoming traffic is creating a clear and present danger. The recent string of police chases across Los Angeles and Southern California serves as a stark and tragic reminder of the inherent dangers of this practice. The deaths of 6 people in 1 week, including innocent bystanders and passengers, underscore the urgent need for a continued re-evaluation of pursuit policies and tactics. The events of 2025, from the U-Haul chases to the fatal crashes, show that while police have a duty to enforce the law, the methods used must prioritize the preservation of human life above all else. To move forward, law enforcement agencies can take several concrete steps. They can continue to strengthen and clarify their pursuit policies, ensuring that chases are reserved for the most dangerous and violent offenders. Increased supervision, requiring a supervisor's approval to continue a lengthy or high-risk pursuit, can provide a crucial check on an officer's judgment in a heated moment. Furthermore, expanding the use of alternative technologies, like GPS trackers and remote disabling where appropriate and safe, can provide options that do not involve high-speed chases through populated areas. Better training is also essential. Officers need regular, reality-based training on when to initiate, when to terminate, and how to manage a pursuit to minimize risk. This includes training in de-escalation techniques and the strategic use of tactics like shadowing from the air. Transparency is equally important. When police agencies share data on pursuits and are open about their policies, it helps build public trust and facilitates a more informed conversation about what the community is willing to accept in the name of public safety. Ultimately, reducing the harm caused by police chases requires a commitment from all sides. It requires law enforcement to be disciplined and strategic. It requires policymakers to support evidence-based reforms. And it requires the public to understand the complex realities that officers face. The goal is not to eliminate all pursuits, as that may not be realistic. The goal is to make them rarer, safer, and subject to careful oversight. We must learn from the tragedies of the past year to prevent them from becoming the tragedies of the future. The safety of our communities depends on it.